Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Shellie Geigle with J&S Hobbies and Crafts, and today I got something different. Now Christmas is coming up, and I know that a lot of you have craft stands, which I'm not sure if any of those bazaars are going to be open this year, but we also have people who love scrunchies. So what I've created, and I'm going to show you how to make, are these scrunchie towers. And it's real easy. You can place all your little scrunchies on here. They hold, and it's really super easy. It's a DIY, and we'll be using a empty paper towel roll and scrap pieces of chipboard as well as scrap paper. So it's super simple, and I have two here. This one I'm going to make in the tutorial. This came off of the Home Again paper collection where I had made a tutorial mini album with it, so I had that handy. And then this one was leftover other types of paper. So one thing about these is you can pile on as many as you want. You can scrunch them down if you have a lot, or spread them out. Now, if you're using this for organization, let's say you wanted this particular one, well, it's very easy to get it off because scrunchies, they are elastic, and you can just kind of get it on up and over and it'll come off. So that is what I'm going to be showing you. These make great little gifts, and if you don't want one this tall, you can always downsize to like an empty toilet paper roll, or you can take the paper towel roll. Maybe you only want half that much. So you can make this any size that you want and stuff. But I thought it was a great idea. I love scrunchies, and I made a whole bunch, not only for myself, but for gifts, and I will be selling some. Let's get on with this. This is super simple, and I hope you like the tutorial, and I hope you like the variety I'll be bringing to my channel. Let's begin. So this is so easy to make, and we're going to go over the materials list here, and underneath the video in the description area I'll have this laid out for you. But basically we're going to be using up some scrap, cardstock, chipboard, and recycling an empty paper towel roll. Now you can cut this down shorter if you don't want the tower, and for instance, if all you have is an empty toilet paper roll, you can do this as well with one of those, and you'll just have a shorter one. And then if that's the case, if you choose to, you can go down to a 4 by 4 inch size chipboard on the bottom. Alright, so here we go. What we're going to need: empty paper towel roll. We're going to need a 5 inch by 5 inch piece of chipboard. We're going to need a 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 inch piece of chipboard. With our decorative paper, we're going to need a 6 by 6 inch piece. And for me, this whole thing here came off 112 by 12. So I'm using the reverse of it. So, but you can mix and match different scraps that you have. So 6 by 6. We're also going to need a 3 inch by 3 inch piece of decorative paper. And then we're going to want a 6 inch by 10.5 inch piece of paper, decorative paper. Now my paper towel roll is standard. It's about 11 inches long. Now this is only 10.5 inches, and I will tell you why. Half inch of this is going to be cut, so that will go down to the base. So on these instructions, you'll definitely want to follow along in these steps to make it most easy for you. You will need some glue, and I'm going to be using Scor Tape when it comes time to get at least my paper onto the roll, but you can use glue instead. If you have a little binder clip or maybe a clamp, it might be easy for you. And of course you have some scissors. So let's begin. It's real simple. First thing that we're going to do is grab our paper towel holder. And I would look and see which side's more bent up, if any. If they're both bent up, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But mine's more crinkled down here. Now, also, if you don't want the real short, like a empty toilet paper roll, and maybe you want something about this high, you can go ahead and cut this. And then you can cut your big piece here down to size. So if you want to, just give yourself an extra ½ inch, because we'll be losing a ½ inch. You can do that. All right, ruler time. Grab your ruler, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark a ½ inch up from the bottom. And I'm going to do this around, going around this roll. And the reason why, it's going to make it easier for me. So we'll just do this, and this is just a real quick project. And looks like I'm coming back here. Okay, so let's grab some scissors. What we're going to do is snip up to those lines, and in between, of course, but I'm just going to give myself that much room or so, and we're just going to keep snipping around. You don't have to measure in between, just start snipping. Okay, so once you got this all snipped, what we're going to do is we're to pull these out. Just pull them on out. And we're going to set it down. And that should have yourself pretty straight. Okay. Now, one thing we're going to do is prep our chipboard and our decorative paper. We're not going to glue anything down right now. But with your 5x5, so this is going to end up being up. That's the colors I want shown. So I'm just going to place this down, and that should give me about, a ½ inch on each side. And all we're going to do is grab this and just kind of bend. Okay, bring it on up. You can use your hands, you can use your little bone folder to help you, but we're going to crease that. Now, while that's in there and you want to push it up against that, we're going to get the other side here. And that's good enough. Okay, I'm going to hold it in place, and I'm going to get this side. And I'll do it over here. Okay, so right now we know where it's supposed to crease. So we'll just kind of help that along. Okay. We're going to use the underside so that there won't be any pencil. But the end that doesn't have the cuts, I'd like you to go somewhere right in the middle. And for me, I'm going to measure to see where those creases are. I know I'm about a ½ inch in there, so see where if it's pretty even centered in there. I think that is good enough in the middle. So now that I have it, I'm going to hold it there, and I'm just going to draw around that. And then I can always check to see if I need to do something else, but that's it. Draw around. And I'm going to recheck myself. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's pretty even. Okay, I'm going to poke a hole to get me started here. And then I'm going to grab some scissors. I'm going to cut. Now when I cut, I'm going to be cutting just on the outside of that line that I drew. I'm just going to get this started. It's easier. Get my scissors in there. You can use your knife and trace around if that's easier for you. But for me, we're just going to cut. And this, what we'll end up doing after we cut this out is then we will try and place it over this evenly, giving us a little bit of room. This paper is pretty stiff, so giving me a little bit of a grief. So I think what I'm going to do is just grab my knife at this point. All right. So let's see. That goes on pretty darn well. Okay, so that is down. And these little prongs, we're just going to glue down to the underside. I think that's it. Okay, and the easiest way to do this is just place it down. Right there. All right, now that we have that, and you have your pieces like this, it's time to get this ready to go. Now this may seem a little awkward because we're stuck on there, but we're going to add our glue. Looks like I didn't get some of those down. That's okay, it will get down. Okay. Now when we place this, remember, we want it to make sure that it is going to fit around those curves we did. And I got mine there. So press that down. All right. So this is rather easy. All we're going to do is we're going to glue down one side at a time, and then we'll trim and cut off what's not needed. So wrapping that around. So I got one side there. Now I'm going to get on the side with the glue. And I'll pull that in. Place that down. Okay, so what we're going to want to do at this point is we are going to grab our scissors. We're to cut straight over, and we'll do that over here. Just cut along straight over to the edge along that chipboard, so these will come out. So we'll come over here. You see where the edge of your paper is? That's a good place to start. And we are going to cut to the edge. So here's the edge of my decorative paper that I rolled over, and I will cut this way. Now, when we roll it over, it makes a nice seam. So I'll glue that down. Okay, let's do this side. Here's the edge. I'm going to come straight down and clip it at an angle. And when I pull that over, it should look good. Hopefully. If you need to trim off anything, go ahead. And I'm going to roll that over. Okay, there's our bottom, and you should be standing straight up. I'm going to get this out of the way. Alright, let's work on our 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 chipboard piece, and we're going to do the same thing, just kind of help it along. We'll just stick that right in the middle, and we will fold on each one of our sides. Alright, now You can cut your chipboard more into a circle like I did on this one. It's a little more difficult and to get your circle straight, or you can do the square. And I'm going to be doing the square because it's very easy. Okay, this one, now that I got all that folded, I'm just going to apply my glue and glue this down. And we will fold in the sides just like we just did the bottom. So find your spot where it needs to go. There we go. Right, we'll tackle this side and the other side first. Okay, we're going to do our cutting. Okay, let's cut at an angle. Oops, get one done a little better. Ooh, I'm so shaky today. Must have had too much coffee. Okay. Now, this little black part will not be exposed. All right, our square is done. Our last piece is this, and I'm going to go with this on the outside. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to place that all the way down. And when we wrap this, we're going to try and keep even. So one thing I like to do is just hold it down, press it down to see what it looks like. You have plenty to make it over, but sometimes a starting point is nice. And this is where your clip might come in handy, just to hold you there for a moment. Well, you make sure that this is going to wrap around straight. And I got a little off there. So we're just going to, this is just going to help me get this on. So I have a line there. Alright, I like to use Scor Tape. And you don't have to, but that's just my preference on this. I don't have to hold it and wait for it to dry. And it just grips. So I'll put a couple on the sides here. Maybe just a few. So it just grabs when I'm wrapping it around slowly. Then I'll trim off any excess there. And we will begin. Now, if it doesn't get on completely straight, you know, you've got scrunchies or bracelets or whatever you decide to put on there. I like scrunchies. So I'm going to press it down. I'm going to line it up with that line as best I can. And I think I got it there. And then this way I don't have to use a bunch of glue. Now I'm going to test it to make sure this is going to wrap around right. And it is. That line really helped me. So now I'm just going to wrap a little by little. Just coming around. Watching the top. And there goes Roomba in the background, making noise. And now I'm just going to release these since I know I'm going on fairly straight. keep going with it slowly. And come back around. And there we have it. So far, this is what mine looks like. The only thing we have left to do is to place that cap on there. And that's easy. That's just with some glue around here. And then you can put a book on top while it dries, or a weight. I just put a weight on there, but a heavy book will help. Okay, so that's it. We're going to put this on top. Now when I put this on top, before it completely glues down, I'm going to try and wipe up some of any glue that seeps off the sides, and then I'm going to also try and get this on to where it's even all the way around. You have just enough room there. That is fairly even right there. So that is on there. This is what mine looks like. Now, a book or something, weight, and you should be good. So I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes with that. I've given my top about 5 minutes to glue down, and I think this looks great. Here's a tip. If you cut awkward your whole opening for your paper towel roll, and you can see maybe a little bit of cardboard and you don't like it, you can grab some lace and just glue it around the base. Glue it down around the base and have more decorative on that. So now for the scrunchies. And again, remember, you can always go anywhere you want with these. I'm going to grab some off these. They just fit right on there. So you don't have to have all of the ones like I did. Definitely not. I was just making them because I'll be selling some and giving some away as gifts and everything. But it's a great way to store some of your scrunchies, your hair ties. Hey, bracelets too work. So my next tutorial, I'm actually going to show you how to make scrunchies. And I'll be having some pre-cut fabric strip kits to make those scrunchies. So I will be adding in some variety to my channel. Maybe some easy sewing projects like this. The scrunchie takes maybe 15 minutes or less. And there are so many ways that you can make them. So I will see you on my next one, where I'm actually going to show you how to make these scrunchies. Happy crafting, everybody, and I'll see you next time.